I should have changed at half-time and put Jason Park and Messi. That was a mistake. If I had played Jason Park against Messi, I think we'd have beaten him.
I think he was, in one moment, he was one of the most important players, but the most underrated.
He was so selfless in the way that he played.
Because also he was defending sometimes more than I.
He was so humble as a player.
Who's the most underrated player that you managed?
There's three players. I can't split them. Brian McClare, Jason Park, and Ronnie Johnson.
G and with Ronnie, if there was a problem in a game, they would almost be like they'd fix your problem for you, wouldn't they? So Jason Park would go and sit on Pirlo and man mark him. You know, they were the players that you sort of trusted to do the job for you, to man mark. If you did man mark a couple of times.
That's what I was the final against Barcelona and Wembley. I should have changed at half-time and put Jason Park and Messi. That was a mistake. I realised after 10 minutes, I was going to do it at half-time, and they'll say, well, we'll just equalise before half-time. They may see the game differently, and we may grow into the game better. We're actually quite good in the last 10 minutes of that game. You know, we come into it and we could have been in front, actually. But if I had played Jason Park against Messi, I think we'd have beaten him. I really do. Messi, two highlights. I mean, a fantastic goal he scored, and he made the other one. You know, he was a great player. But if it was a player we were going to do it, it was Jason Park.
I think he was, in one moment, he was one of the most important players in the squad, but the most underrated. Like, for me, talking about G, I just talk about that semi-final against Milan, or quarterfinal, when the boss say, you know, you follow Pirlo everywhere. But you know what people forget about that game? He didn't just follow Pirlo. He scored, he attacked. G had an amazing player. And against Barcelona in 2008, man of the match, you know, both leg, home and away.
Like, there were so many things that he was great at. And then running without the ball. He was one of the best players that I've seen identify space and opportunity and then run into that space. And to be a decoy for somebody else, not even to get the ball sometimes. He was so humble as a player, as Patrice said. He was so selfless in the way that he played. He was a fabulous player.
Okay, you know, I play on the left with Giggsy, with Nani, with Cristiano, but I think Jason was the most easier player to play with. And because also he was defending sometimes more than I. So let's be clear, he was really generous. When you play with a winger, Rio can tell you, you know, sometimes we like, go in the space, come to the ball. But G, you don't need to shout him that. He already know that. He's like a robot.